everybody. Welcome. Welcome to this journey on a Monday evening here at Healing with Marcus. I am Marcus. And today, I'd like to guide us into ourselves, into our inner light, so that we can move into this coming year with power and with light. This is how we approach a spiritual way of life, yes? As we move away from the noise of the world, as we move away from the noise of the mind, we move our awareness and our attention into our body, into our hearts, into our sacral chakra, root chakra. We do this by guiding our way back into our body, into our life, with our breath, by listening intently to the silence between the words, by feeling deeply into our body, into ourselves. And as you become more aware of your inner sense of reality, you also strengthen your walk. You strengthen your perception of what is real in your world and what is old programming. It's really easy for all of us to get caught up in the outside world, which also translates to the messaging in our minds. The intention for these Monday night lives here on YouTube is simply to be a mindful space for you, to help you expand on your inner reality and support you on your walk. As you sit here with me, I would like to encourage you to slowly calm down, to slowly release the pressures of the world. Let your shoulders come down. In this moment, take a few deep breaths. Feel into yourself. And at first, it may feel chaotic. At first, it may even feel like a hard place to enter, because we are not very used to feeling our inner reality in our bodies. Many of us have walked through our whole lives without acknowledging what it really feels to connect inside. I saw a wonderful video the other day, somebody who talked about how they used to party, how they used to go to the dance floor, and they used to be at the clubs, and they used to do all the drugs and drink all the drinks. And this person said that it was for her to feel a sense of connection. to feel a sense of aliveness, to feel deeper, more connection. And it was lovely to see because it brought up this idea, this feeling that what so many of us are looking for. There's Shauna. Good evening, Shauna. There's so many who are looking for that inner connection. We're looking for a deeper sense of reality so we can feel at home in this world. Because so many of us don't feel like we belong or like it's our world until we come home. And partly because of the messaging of the world, and partly because of the programming in our own minds, our programming is that we think we can get that connection from another person. That if only that right person would like us, that if only they saw us, then we would feel at home. And the encouragement here is to guide you. Ellie K, there you are. Grateful to see you. Thank you. So the encouragement here is to help you feel into your body. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe deeply into your system. And as you do that, at first, it might be very hard to take a few deep breaths. At first, it might be tricky to even sit still and listen to this message. Because we are so used to being busy, busy, busy. Our minds are so used to staying active, taking in more information, more information, more information. Because it gives us a sense of being in control. It gives us a sense, a feeling that we are somehow in charge. But if we start to connect deeply into ourselves and into nature, we slowly start to trust that life force energy will flow in your body no matter how much control you are in. And when you look outside the window, or if you sit with the trees that are somewhere around you, you begin to learn the lessons of nature herself. The lessons that you already belong. That you already belong because you are. Because you are alive. That's the only ticket we need. It's the only thing you truly need in order to be alive and belong, is to be alive, right? Like to be present in your moment is to pay attention into your body, is to stay aware of what's going on inside of you now. And as you increase that sense of connection inside of you, and you increase your life force energy, that sense of loneliness and not belonging fades away. Because we deeply realize that we are a part of life itself. We can't help it. You can't not be a part of life itself. Sometimes we think we can avoid it, but in reality, as long as your heart is beating, as long as you're breathing, you are life itself. And then so many of us have blockages, right? We have blockages in the throat chakra, in the heart chakra, in the solar plexus area, in the sacral chakra, which is around the belly button, or in the root chakra, which is around the genitals and that around your butt area. Or you can be blocked up top on the crown chakra and the third eye chakra. And all of these blockages are part of the old program that we have lived by. So when we feel like we don't belong, that can be in the heart, but it can also very strongly be in the crown chakra. That we're not trusting our intuition. We're not trusting the messages that come to us in our dreams, in our meditation, or the epiphanies that you have when you sit with nature. The ideas that come to you when you sit are beautiful and powerful. So we come into, as a light worker, which is what you are, and a rainbow warrior, we come into our inner strength and our inner power. We do this by staying present with what's in our system. By becoming the watcher of our own lives and our own feelings, the observer. When you can create a bit of space between what you perceive is happening to you and what is going on within you, you become the observer, the watcher, and you take back your power. So if we have an issue in life, if we have a problem in life, when you start to sit with it, you can see it clearly. You can see it in a different light. And suddenly, truths begin to reveal themselves to you. As you sit in your grace, in your life. So much of this is about creating that space. So much of this, so when we are not able to breathe into our body, we are being very caught up in the emotional state which we are in. And when we are caught up in that feeling of stress or worry or negativity, in that moment we think it's reality. And again, we have confused the outer reality for who we are inside. So as you begin to breathe deeply into your body and you connect to your original force of life, you begin to realize that in many ways you are like the tree. The tree that just stands outside the window with its roots deeply, firmly into Earth Mother. And it sucks up the water, sucks up the nutrients from the roots up into the tree, where it's also taking in life force energy from underneath and from the above. As it does, it keeps growing. And because of the consciousness of how the trees are, they don't react the way we do. They just stand there, knowing that they are part of life, knowing that what they're doing is producing more life, knowing that the process that they are on the earth is both clearing out carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen, producing oxygen. And we, as humans, have become so programmed that we think that, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that, I have to do this. And if I do this, then I'm able to be good enough. Or if this other person finds me, then I'm able to be good enough. we have lost our connection to life itself. So these evenings are about you coming back home, recognizing, realizing who you truly are. Even when it looks so bad, even if it looks, oh my God, how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to do this? How am I going to get a job? Whatever the fear might be. One of the beautiful questions is, can worry add 1 minute to your life? And the answer is fairly obvious. That of course it does nothing but take away from what we do with our lives. But as we step into our power, as we step into our light, as you enter into the throne in your crown chakra and your third eye, you become a sovereign human being. This coming year is all about sovereignty. It's all about becoming sovereign. It's all about recognizing, where is fear taking part of my life? Where am I being afraid? And why? And if you are very young, it may be the first time you're experiencing something, and maybe that is a time to be afraid. But when you have reached a certain age, and you've gone through these cycles of worry and worry and worry and worry, at some point, you might be able to recognize that, hang on, I was really worried about something last year. And the year before that, I was worried about something else. And the year before that, I was worried about something else. And whatever we were worried about never happened, never came through. And if it did come through, it was never as bad as we made it up to be in our minds. So I am encouraging you to find your way back home. To find your way into your body, into your life. Become present with yourself. Release from the news media, from the social media, from the harshness of our world. Come back into your own life. Come back into your own sense of being. And if you come back home, you might be able to recognize that, uh-oh, I am alive right now. What am I so worried about that's going to take away that feeling of being alive right now? And if we move our awareness into that feeling of being alive, you might realize that it's joyful to be alive. You might realize that life itself carries an innate sense of joy. And if you connect into that, and when you realize that so many people didn't get to experience today because they exited early, they exited from this path, they went back to another dimension of our reality, to another layer, frequency of our reality. But as long as we are in this physical body, in this physical frequency, if we remember that being alive is a gift, not to be taken for granted, and that quite honestly, it could be over at any time. This isn't to scare anybody. This is just to kind of state the fact that most people who end up exiting our reality did not expect to exit whenever they exited. That most people didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, yeah, today is the day. I'm going today. No, for most people, it just happens. And it could happen to you and me as well. So for us to remember to be alive while we're alive, to connect to life force energy, to the joy of being alive is imperative when it comes to developing your spiritual muscle, developing your spiritual practice. So that when something that a few years ago would come and blow you over, you would fall and it would hurt like crazy and you felt like you were drowning. If that happens today, or if that did happen yesterday, it may not hit you that deeply. Because you've been able to develop your spiritual muscle. You've been able to sit in your stillness, in your strength, in your power, in your light. You've been walking the path of being more sovereign, self-reliant. So whatever fear-mongering is going on out there, you have a choice. You can choose to take part of it. As long as you know it's a choice. Or you can choose to sit in your love and light. It is really, really imperative to develop your spiritual strength. But it becomes a platform on which we live. And even if you're just starting out in meditation, it's going to change your life so much. And as we go deeper onto the journey, we might realize that the shamanic path is an even deeper path. It doesn't cost you anything but your old life. It only gives the gift of meditation, the gift of becoming spiritually aware, the gift of becoming conscious in your system. It's only a gift. And the more you develop it, the stronger it gets. And the path gets both wider and narrower, but the narrow part is easy to deal with. Because you're sitting in your light, you're sitting in your power. And what we thought was fun before, we may see through that and realize that maybe that wasn't just fun. That maybe inner joy is something else. So I'm sitting here as a reminder, as a helper and a support person, to remind you to come back. That's the movement of meditation. Come back home, come back to yourself, come back to your inner strength, come back to your inner power, your core. Who you were before you lost yourself in the world. Who I was before trauma came in and changed how I looked at the world. And the gift is to come back home and feel the feeling of being alive, of being able to release the idea that the world is such a horrible place. Because if you're able to question the narrative you're being told, if you're able to see through some of the narrative, you start to become aware that you have a choice in the matter. That there is spaciousness within you. And then if somebody says or does something bad, seemingly bad to you, you can choose how you're going to react. And maybe at times we learn that yes, of course, it's correct to put your foot down when you need to. Of course, it's correct to protect your space when you need to. But if we always feel like we have to, if we always walk around thinking, oh, they're all crazy, they are all out there. There's something about your programming in your mind that could be worth looking at. Because like I just said, like when you come back home, you connect to the force of life within you, and you recognize that there is light inside of you, that your life force energy is who you actually are. Underneath your programming, underneath the negativity of the mind, who you actually are is that sense of love and light. And yes, we all have a shadow side. We all have demons as part of our mental makeup and part of our energy system. And we need to learn how to face them. We need to learn how to sit with them, be friends with them. There can be times when strength of a demon can be necessary. But when they run our lives blindly, when the triggers and the traumas are still in control of how we live our lives, we are still prisoners of the past. And there is no freedom to be found in that. The real freedom is to come back home and become present to yourself, to your life force energy. And as you walk down this path, as you breathe into your body, and as you begin to realize, oh, so maybe I'm not a prisoner of their actions. Maybe I'm not just a victim of when they do these things. Maybe I have a choice. That's where your freedom comes in. As we soften to our programming, we soften to the messaging in our mind, we soften to the traumas that are stuck in our body, and we breathe space into them so that your nervous system gets more room to relax and release the traumas out of the system. It's a beautiful journey. So when I say light workers stand in your light, it means come back home and be strong in your sovereignty. Be strong in your freedom. Because that's what this is all about. Be free. Be you. Be light. Be love. On the way there, we might find the fears that have been running our lives before. On the way into the light, we find the different programs that are running in our mind. Maybe you think all men or women are this way or that way. Maybe you think, why are they all acting this way? Maybe you think all politicians are one way or the other way. Let's look at our minds and let's look at the messaging that's going on within us. And one of the things that is starting to come through, and I'm grateful we are on here right now. I'm grateful you are on here right now with a few of us on here. One of the things that are coming through is this idea of sending light and love and consciousness and awareness to the politicians, to the government, to the Pentagon, to the stock market. Hold them all in light so that one day they can wake up. So that we can work in the quantum field of reality. The quantum field is what we call the unseen. These are the frequencies that are outside of our vision, outside of our visionary field. But they're still a much part of our reality, as much as anything else. It's more real than our regular reality. And if you think of any movie, any building, any ship, any kind of thing that humans, any book, anything either beautiful or not so beautiful that any of us have created, even the bombs that we have created, have started as ideas in the mind And of course, if the charge in a human is strong enough in fear, if we are convinced that we need to live in fear, then what comes through are the ideas of the bombs and the other things we use to hurt others with. But if your programming is allowing more love to come in, your creativity that's flowing through you at every moment might allow beauty to come through, might allow beautiful messages to come through instead of the negative messages. But we realize that everything we have created as humankind, originated in the quantum field as an idea. The person who wanted to build the big ship, the person who wanted to build the big building, the person who wanted to write the book, the movie, the theater play, the painting, the works of art. Everything has originated in the quantum field. So if we can reverse some of that and we can start sending love and light consciously, intentionally to these parts of the government, parts of the world where a lot of suffering is being planted and started, we can help to shift the flow. And we can truly affect things from the level of the quantum field. Quantum field reacts to your intention, just to how your life reacts to your intention. So when you start to envision yourself held in light, you begin to shift the frequencies around you. You begin to shift what comes into your life. And if we can hold a whole country or a whole nation or a whole government entity in light, we can help to shift that frequency as well. This is part of standing in our light. This is how we begin to spread the light truly in the world. So right now, let's do a meditation together. I would like for you to just feel into your body. Let your shoulders come down. Relax in your root chakra, in your sacral chakra. Relax around your hips and your butt and your lower back. Take a few deep breaths into your body and breathe. Keep breathing. Keep moving your awareness into your body, deep into your root chakra. And keep it going with your breaths. It's helpful to sit up with a straight spine. Now, as you're breathing into your body, feel how you slowly, or actually envision yourself being full of light and power emanating from the root chakra. Connecting the roots of your body, root yourself into the soil of Earth Mother. Let that power travel up your body. Let that light and power come up activating in your throat, your sacral chakra. Feel a sense of peace and self-love. And move that energy up. Feel it growing. Feel the energy of light and love and power fill your whole torso. Fill your liver up with light. Fill your gallbladder up with light. The liver is on your right side underneath your rib cage. Next to it is your gallbladder. And on the other side, on your left side, you have your stomach. Above that, you have just under the rib cage, you have your pancreas and your spleen. Fill them all up with light. Bless them with your light and your love and your power. Keep blessing your intestines and your organs. Come up to your lungs. And with each breath, fill them up with oxygen, fill them up with air. And feel how love and light and power comes up into your lungs as well. Your lungs and your heart. And then move that further up into your shoulders. Feel a heat building up in your body. Bless your arms, your overarm, your underarm, your hands, your wrists. Feel them full of light, see them full of light. Bless your joints, your shoulders, your elbows, your knees, your ankles, your hips. Allow that power and love and light moving into your throat. Bless your thyroid gland. Bless your esophagus, your voice box. Then come up into your face, in your jaw. Relax and release your jaw. Your ears, let them relax. Your nose, your teeth, your mouth, your lungs, your tongue. Everything relaxes, full of light, full of energy. Your nose, your sinuses, and then up into the third eye, your brain, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland. Activate, recharge, refresh, renew. Sit in your peace. Let your mind relax. Let love and light and power fill up your mind, your brain, your glands. And come up above your skull. Open your crown chakra to activations and intuitive knowings from the universe itself. Yes. Now envision yourself like a glowing light exploding through the crown chakra up into the universe, shooting light energy upwards, out like a fountain head on top of your skull. Expand your mind, expand your vision. And now slowly come back into your body. Feel your heart beating. Feel into the root chakra and the sacral chakra. Feel all the way down. Now we are back in our body. Come back into this life. You can open your eyes. And you can feel at home in yourself. This is part of how we come home. And the more often you can practice this, the stronger your spiritual walk becomes. So I want to wish you a lovely, beautiful week. I will see some of you tomorrow at Tuesday night meditation here at the house. And the rest I will see next week on Monday. Remember to press that subscription button if you feel like it, if you feel like this is something you want to keep doing. And feel free to share. Thank you, L.E.K. So much gratitude, so much love. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks for the thumbs up. Have a lovely, beautiful week. Happy New Year. Namaste. And aho. Bye, everybody.